In this lesson, we're going to start talking about resilience. We have needed resilience all of our life. But as we move into the third of life, I believe we need to cultivate resilience in an even more top-of-mind way. If you are a human being, then you have had challenges and adversity in life. And though social media posts might make it look like someone has a perfect life, you know that everyone has had to deal with tragedy and loss at certain moments in life. Have you ever been lonely, had your heart broken, lived through a natural disaster, lived through a terrorist event, been passed over for a promotion, been marginalized or bullied, struggled through divorce, had a pet or animal companion die, been fired or laid off or made redundant, had a miscarriage, struggled with infertility, had to watch someone you love cope with sickness or a physical ailment or an addiction, experienced anxiety or depression, lost someone you love to suicide, experienced the death of a partner or someone in your family. Adversity happens to everyone. It doesn't discriminate. Life is not for sissies. I have linked an article for you in your workbook from Dr. Lucy Hone. She is a resilience expert who experienced the loss of her 12-year-old daughter who died in a car accident. She has had to put her own resilience strategies to work for herself and her husband and 2 sons. She talks about 3 secrets of resilient people. These are mindset tips that line up very well to my own beliefs about resilience. These are go-to strategies that can help you push through your darkest days. And the first one is that stuff happens. It's understanding that challenges happen. They are part of human life. Suffering is part of life. It's part of every existence. You don't allow yourself to feel discriminated against when it happens to you. Instead of thinking, why me? You think, why not me? Everyone goes through hard stuff. This is my hard stuff. You are not alone. No one has a perfect life. Somehow that notion can give solace. Going through challenge is a universal experience. The second tip is to seek out gratitude and what's good in life. We will cover this more in depth in the happiness module, but resilient people are pretty realistic. Resilient people live the serenity prayer, meaning they know what they can change and accept the things that they can't change. There are plenty of things in life that we can't control, no matter how much we wish we could or how hard we try. When you are in the midst of dealing with something that you can't control, faith and trust can be helpful allies. For those who have certain beliefs in a higher power, that there is a plan, there's a certain peacefulness that comes with understanding that life unfolds the way it's meant to, even if the reasons are hard to understand. Resilient people are also good at tuning into gratitude and noticing, despite all the challenges and struggles, that there still are good things in the world. Knowing that you can find positives somewhere in your life, even if you have to really delve deeply, is a resilience characteristic. This is a mindset technique that really does work. You take responsibility for the things in life that you can control or create, and cultivating a grateful mindset is something you can control. Dr. Hone talked about cultivating this mindset during the worst of the grieving process. She found some good things that helped. She thought, okay, her daughter didn't suffer through years of a dreaded disease. Her death was instantaneous. That she and her husband still had 2 sons who needed a strong family. Instead of thinking, there's no way I'm ever coming back from this, she chose to seek out mindsets and thought habits that helped her cope and find something positive in the midst of tragedy. And the third mindset tip is to ask yourself, is this particular strategy working for me? I really love this tip. You take a step back and look at yourself and your situation with some detachment. Is the way you're thinking and acting helping or hurting you in your quest to move through the challenge? So what does asking this question do for you? It reminds you that you have choice. You have choice in every thought you have, every behavior you exhibit. Is what I'm doing helping or hurting me? By asking yourself this simple question, you take back some control. The one thing you can control is yourself and your own reaction to things. Does looking at stacks of old photos of the loved one help or hurt? The answer might be different for different people at different times, and the important point is to notice and ask yourself the question, will going to the trial help or hurt if your loved one was harmed in a crime? Again, it depends on the situation. It might help you, it might hurt you. The key is asking the question and recognizing you have choice. This is a particularly important mindset during times when you are struggling the hardest. So the 3 simple resilience mindset tips are: recognize that stuff happens, cultivate gratitude and seek out what's good, and ask yourself if what you're doing in this moment is helping you or hurting. Dr. Hone also talked about the swarm of well-intended people who interacted with her family right after the death of her daughter. And they were making her feel like a victim, telling her things like, you're now a prime candidate for divorce. You now have a higher risk for mental illness. You will now go through these stages of grief. You can write off your next 5 years because you will be swallowed up by grief. What she wanted, instead of feeling like a powerless victim, was some hope and a map or a pathway through the pain. She wanted to be an active participant in the grief process. I have never gone through the tragic loss of a child, and experts say that parental bereavement is the hardest kind of challenge that you have to bear in life. But I have been through some life challenges, and I know I want to be an active participant in all of the processes of my life, including grief. I don't want someone else telling me how to feel. I want to know that I have a choice, and I can make decisions about the steps I take to work through it. So the key message in this lesson is that you can cultivate resilience. There is a monumental body of research that tells us it is possible to better navigate through the most challenging times. Here's a quote from Dr. Hone. Contrary to what many people think, resilience isn't a fixed or elusive trait that some people have and some people don't. In reality, it just requires the willingness to try. And next, we will talk about cultivating resilience in your body.